I get.
You mentioned that on these cross-country trips, power is a limiting factor. The car's power.
Yeah.
You just can't hit top speed, or like it legit won't go as fast as you need it to. I'm a low-lying East Coaster here.
Well, when you have thin air at altitude,
Right.
especially if you have a naturally aspirated car, you're going to lose 30, 40, 50% of the power.
Mm-hmm.
And especially in some of the big high plain states, you've got crosswinds that'll move your car off the road. I mean, you'll see tractor trailers laying on their sides. So we did it 2016 or 17 in a 1995 Cadillac Fleetwood Brougham limousine, and we were going to San Francisco that year. And I bought it from a raging alcoholic 2 or 3 days prior to departure because the Audi I'd planned to take broke. And that thing was
detail.
I don't know what's more surprising about that story: an alcoholic owning a Cadillac limo, or the Audi breaking.
I bought it in a Walmart parking lot.
How did you know that guy woke up one morning and he's like, "Man, I hope I didn't text anyone anything silly." He walked outside and there's some.
I bought some of my best cars from a Walmart parking lot. You know, I made some good deals there.
You make me want to buy more cars.
He had bought it years prior for his band to tour in, and it was an absolute piece of garbage, but it was roomy and comfortable at the very least, but it had no power. That was that LT4 motor, I think, and it was garbage. But we made it, and in like 38 hours, but it was good fun, and we encountered the circumstance which we're talking about: no power and terrible aerodynamic efficiency.
Hey, have you ever seen one of those GTM supercars, the kit car that you can build with Corvette drivetrain? What's your opinion on those? Because I was thinking about building one.
Well, so they can be awesome, or given the fact they're built in people's garages, they can be utter rubbish. So we had a guy who did a SLC, which is a very similar concept. It's a super light car that is they're race car chassis that you can make street legal due to being self-constructed cars. But it's, that's just what's happening.
Yeah, I'm looking at the SLC right now. Oh, this is even cheaper, huh? Because I was going to be close to 40K on building the GTM, but this looks even cheaper. Oh.
I can't remember what he said he ended up within it. A lot of it just depends on how nice of an LS motor you end up putting in them. I mean, you can get one out of a Suburban and it'll do just fine because they don't weigh anything. But you just got to check your state laws for self-constructed vehicle rules, and it's very possible.
Yeah, I'm thinking about doing one of those. I just find a Corvette that's been totaled out but still has decent drive. Even though I got to get pieced together 3 or 4 destroyed Corvettes or whatever, You
only really need gearbox and motor, and most of the time you swap it to a Porsche G50 gearbox. It's just the one that mates well with an LS and does rear mount better. Okay. So there's, infinite internet forums, and this guy did it in Minnesota and found the vehicle titling there to be quite easy. It's very easy in Florida, very easy in Louisiana. There's a few other states that make it easy. Georgia's kind of so-so.
Okay. Yeah, my dad and I have restored and rebuilt a few hot rods, like the 55 Chevrolets and 67 Camaros and a lot of stuff like that.
Rob's language.
Yeah, the fun stuff. So I'm pretty familiar with doing all that. I can do paint and body and drivetrain work.
Rob was doing that in high school.
Yeah,
exactly.
Same, yeah.
While you were playing with your computers, I was playing with old cars.
He was looking up facts about cars on Internet Explorer.
Oh man, MySpace albums.
Yeah, because they if especially if you're not a car guy, like you glance at that thing and it looks like a 6-figure supercar.
Oh yeah,
it does. And I would assume. I'm a medium car guy at best. I would assume that it's my weakness. I'm the one who doesn't know about the greatness of the SLC. Well,
there aren't that many of them. I think he said there were only maybe 40 or 50 of them that were completed. I think they've sold a couple hundred of the kits, but there aren't that many that have. So the real thing to do is to find someone who's at the halfway point 2 years ago and hasn't touched it. And then you pick that up.
Existing project.
That's it. Yeah. Because this guy built one and then found out that there was a guy that was 20% in, literally a block away from his house, like a strong golf shot down the street. And he never knew this until he started driving his around the block. And this guy comes out just furious that he was even possible to finish the car. So much, thinking he was so mechanically inclined. But there are guidebooks for these types of things. But it took him. He estimated the hours, and it was a lot. But he did it in less than a year by himself.
Yeah. Yeah, all those projects end up like that. We bought a 55 Chevrolet, and as soon as we got there were 3 different generations of body restoration on it. It's like, oh, look at that, that's fiberglass, and sand some more. Oh, look, Bondo, is that lead? Did they fix these dents with lead? And you keep going a little farther. Are those welds? Did they solder this car back? And finally, we find out it's not even one car. It's 2 cars that have been welded together. We have 2 cars.
You got to think about it. In 60 years, what that car has seen.